and welcome back to my channel. Today another video about the shaper origin. A couple of weeks ago, one of my viewers asked if I ever tried out a compression bit, and I had no clue what that is. So I went online, did some research to figure out what that is. And so let me read to you what a compression bit is, because it's too complicated for me to even remember. So I have that here, and it says a compression bit is the combination of both upcut and downcut spirals. Typically, a compression spiral has an upcut single, double or triple flute at the tip of the cutter, approximately 1/3 of the cutting length. The remaining 2/3 is ground to give a downcutting shear. Long story short, apparently those bits are made in a way that you can achieve a cleaner cut. If you look at both bits, you'll see a difference. And so you see here on this picture that they look a little bit different. The blade looks different. And so these are two 1/8 of an inch bits that have just different shafts. The left hand one is the original one you get with a shaper, and the right hand one is the compression bit. And so I took two new bits to be fair to both. And I just cut some very simple shapes into different types of woods to see if there is any difference. When cutting those shapes, I didn't really notice a lot of difference, except that the harder the wood got, the easier to maneuver it was with the compression bit. So you know how it is when you cut like hardwood with a shaper, that the router kind of like tends to go in one or the other direction, and you need to use some force to keep it on track. And so with the compression bit, that happened less. It stayed like on the place I wanted it, while with the regular bit, it was more wobbly, and I had to course correct. That was not the case with the softwood, only with hardwood. Long story short, I didn't see a lot of difference in how clean the cut was between those two bits, at least not for what I tried. They were pretty clean, but as I mentioned to you before, because the compression bit keeps the shaper on the same place more easily, with a hard cut, the cut also didn't get as nice. And so you see that here. On this one here, you see the shapes cut into a piece of softwood pine. And you see there's almost no visual difference between both. I at least cannot claim one to be better than the other. If we take the harder wood, again, you see that the shapes look pretty similar. I cannot claim that one is better than the other. The one with the compression bit I felt was a little bit easier to cut than with a regular bit, but there wasn't a big difference. If we take a piece of hardwood, here wenge, so it's tropical and pretty hard, you see that the shape using the standard bit is more wobbly. And that's, I mentioned to you before that like the bit, just wants to drive you in another direction and you need to course correct, and that it happened a lot less with the compression bit. So you see that the shapes look a lot cleaner with the compression bit. So I like that a lot, and I did a couple of tries, and it was something that happened multiple times, that with a standard bit it just was more wobbly than with a compression bit. Next, I cut through the entire board to see if there is a difference on how clean the cuts get on the upper and the lower end of the board. And here the compression bits have a clear advantage. As you can see, the upside and the downside of the board is really clean when you cut with the compression bits. If you use the standard bits, then little pieces of wood have been teared out on the lower end of the board. So if you want to have clean cuts on both ends of your workpiece, then a compression bit is clearly better than the normal one. Now I have to say that reading about compression bits, there's a bunch of techniques that you need to use on how to plunge, and so there's it's an entire philosophy. You can read that up, and I didn't go into a lot of details here. So there might be ways you can use the compression bit in other ways, and like it's even better than what I just tried here. I really just exchanged the bits and then just did the same shapes and different type of woods. So if you're like a pro with compression bits and you're like, Javier, what are you saying here? Like, that makes no sense. You're just explaining it completely wrong. You might be right, because I'm not an expert in this. Just leave it on the comments and there can be a discussion like we have it in other videos. I think that's always interesting to take the knowledge of everyone and exchange based on one of those videos and then make up your own conclusion. Compression bits are said to be more expensive, I read, but I actually found a bunch that are pretty cheap. The ones I bought were really not expensive. So I'll leave a bunch of links in the description that you can use to buy those bits. And if you do that, I'll get a couple of cents from Amazon. So that's nice. And I hope you liked this little video. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe, and see you around.